might.
All right, man. Back in that motherfucker building, man. It's 3. What it do, man? What you tell a bitch?
Spat like a frog, Eddie. Ooh, hit with a spear, edgy. Yeah. Holla, holla, Teddy. Eat the rest all spaghetti. Gotta ride that die like Letty. Hit my pop, no boop, no Betty. Shorty shaking ass heavy. Yeah, just hope it is this sweaty, bitch.
Welcome back to the Boss Body Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is Speaking with Marks. I am Trayvon.
I am your boy Stampede. Hide your wives, hide your knives.
And on this episode, we're going to talk about the top 5 times we popped the loudest. Not the top 5 pops, our loudest pops. It's top 5 times we popped the most.
Top 5 times we were equivalent to you, Krusty Marks, and marked out, bro.
Exactly. So, man, I'll dive into it. I will go from my least or my 5 spot to my number 1 spot. Okay. Therefore, we know there. Okay. So, my number 5, my 5th spot, the time I popped the loudest, it was when Shane McMahon returned for the SmackDown Live. Well, right before the SmackDown Live period, when he came back, when it was Stephanie McMahon in the ring talking to Vince McMahon. He was talking about he was just about to handing her over to business, and then Shane McMahon came out.
Here comes the money.
The crowd went crazy. His first time coming back in 7 years, and it was pretty fucking dope. And I was like, I was really happy because that was like, I was really getting back into wrestling heavy at the time, and I remember like talking about possibility of him coming back. I remember he came back, so that was like my very first like fantasy booking coming true, and that was a really big moment for me. So I was really dope, and I was really ecstatic about that moment. I have some honorable mentions really quick. I would want to mention before I go to my 4, 3, 2, and 1 spots. Honorable mention, WrestleMania 38. The whole WrestleMania 38 card. WrestleMania 2022. That whole show, I popped. Every single thing about those shows, I popped. From the Pat McAfee match to the Vince McMahon fighting Pat McAfee to Vince getting stunner by Stone Cold. From Stone Cold fighting Kevin Owens on night 1. From Roman Reigns fighting Brock Lesnar. Every single thing on WrestleMania 38, I popped. I mean, the spectacles were all over the place. They were great. And the overall stupidity of the show was what I like about wrestling. I like serious stuff. I like all the good shit, but I want to be entertained, man. I want to just talk. I want to be entertained when I rap. You feel me? So, not rap. When I do my wrestling stuff. Yeah, man. You have a time you pop the loudest? You think about one of your loudest pops off the top of your head?
My 5th spot would have to be Stone Cold coming back. I don't remember when it was, but the glass hit. I lost my shit. The crowd lost their shit, and he just come down, cleared ring, just stunner after stunner after stunner.
Oh, after we get hit, he's gone for a while.
After he got hit by Rikishi. Yep.
He's gone for a while. He came back, and then that's when he turned heel. He turned heel for a while.
Ring.
He turned heel because he lined himself with Triple H, and then Vince McMahon was like, "I want the old Stone Cold Steve Austin back." And he came down and he cleared the chair where he was like, "Fucking chair, stunner."
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking. I like Stone Cold has. We can do a top 5 Stone Cold fucking
easily.
Pop,
Both of us.
Like,
and we probably wouldn't even have like the same times neither.
It's fucking.
Speaking of honorable mentions, though, I got 2 of them offhand that definitely they're right. Okay, they're right there. This isn't WWE.
Okay.
This is AEW.
Okay.
It's Sting.
Winter's coming.
Winter's coming. Sting coming down to the. I I lost my shit then, and then whatever WrestleMania it was, where Hogan, Rock, and Stone Cold shared the ring.
All those was it WrestleMania 30?
It might have been something like that.
Beginning of WrestleMania 30.
Yeah,
Or
they were all those. Yeah, those two. They're just.
No, it wasn't 30 because 30 was in New Orleans. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was like 29 or
no,
31.
31 because 31 was in was in like Dallas and like the other one was in San Antonio. So it was might have been 32 because Hulk Hogan opened up, and then after he was talking, Stone Cold came out and there was The Rock.
That's what it was. Yeah.
The 31 was Stone Cold, fucking with Mick Foley and HBK. HBK. And that was in Dallas.
That one was in Dallas. That's right. So the other one was at
San Antonio, I think.
Yeah. What did he call it originally? He flubbered through his fucking lines. He called it the
Astro something.
The Thunderdome.
Yeah, the Thunderdome.
He called it the Thunderdome.
That's probably where they got the name from.
Yep, easily. As like a slight at Hulk Hogan, easily.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that.
But yeah, those two would be two that didn't make the list. And I mean, just barely.
Okay. My 4 spot would be CM Punk returning
to wrestling entirely.
To wrestling, real CM Punk returning.
Okay.
We can say both times. We to return to the Fox Network was pretty dope too because it was pretty fucking awesome and because it was surreal. But also when we returned to fucking AEW, like there was I watched it live. I had AEW on one screen and I was watching Wrestle Talks live reactions on the other, and I literally felt the same way Ollie Davis felt when he was in. It was dope, man. It was really
you start crying because it's been what, it was 7 years.
Yeah, and it was real because it was so much like because so much wrote at him, and like honestly, like he was a big part of the first of how AEW's created. Not only it was the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes, it was also him too because they believed that they can get him to come and join when it first started. So All In came in, they believed he can come in. Then AEW came, so he's been like people been wanting him to come back for a long time, and when he finally came back, it was just so damn big. Like, you know, shit's finally gonna start changing probably because if he's back, you know, it's something big because he was like he wasn't gonna return. So I think that was really big for me, and I really popped hard for that. What's your 4 spot be?
Number 4 would probably, and I don't care what anyone says about it, Undertaker. I think it was a Survivor Series. Undertaker getting lifted from the Titantron, where he's in the casket talking, and then he just comes up from on top. That I lost my shit.
That's when he was found. That's when.
It was him and Mankind, wasn't it?
I thought it was
Yoku.
I thought it was
May have been sick.
I thought it was Randy Orton, but that might be different.
No. This was different. This was Undertaker's first. Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, he came down. Yeah, and his soul risen, rose
That's
up.
what it was. Yeah, it was
died.
his soul going up and everything. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, because he said the purple and dark face. Yeah, so
I remember watching that as a kid, and I remember just thinking, "Oh my god, I'm hooked."
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, that was definitely a good one. Undertaker has a few pop moments. I do have actually I do have an Undertaker spot for my top. We'll talk about my number 2 spot. We'll get there.
Hold on, we're going to talk about Undertaker. Then the spot. I guess this would be number 3 for honorable mentions. But the spot at Raw 30.
Okay.
His American Badass, for as much as I hated it, you know, because I hated the gimmick and whatnot. Yeah. But the way that they played it this time, I marked up. I lost my shit. Anyways, continue. Number 3. I apologize.
My number 3 spot would be Kofi Kingston. Winning it at WrestleMania was a real big moment for me.
The build up and execution of Kofi Mania.
Yeah, it felt so personal for me. Obviously, know me being black. People don't know I'm a black guy. It felt like,
wait, you're black?
It just felt fucking real personal and like felt well deserved.
Well, plus aside from Kofi, when was the last time someone not of white skin held?
It wasn't since The Rock. So The Rock was
Exactly.
the only. It was The Rock. He was the only person. He was the only black WWE champion, and
And then even
WWE
before that, it was.
It was no, but no. There was no other WWE. There's no other black
Oh,
WWE
he
champion.
was the first. That's right.
The
Dwayne
Rock
Johnson
was the first black WWE champion. His dad was the first black WWE champion, but he was the first WWE. His dad was the WWE tag team champion, so his dad was the
Tag
first,
team. There it
first
was.
black
yeah.
WWE champion,
Yeah.
and then he was the first black WWE
World title.
world champion.
Yeah. World champion.
Ron Simmons was the first black world heavyweight champion,
Yep.
and
Yep.
and then after so it was Ron Simmons, then it was The Rock, and then it was Booker T. Booker T also
T
he
held
won
it,
5
yep.
times. He won 5 times, and then it was Mark
5
Henry.
times.
That was and it was Mark Henry also held it a couple times. So yeah, those guys.
And it's I have to give WWE credit for that, is that they haven't had any jokes, any goofs as people who held the titles for the black community. I mean, like you wouldn't look at Ron Simmons as a goof character.
No.
I mean, his character at the time kind of was,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't look at Rocky Johnson's character as a goof character. He was straight edge. You know, the
Only thing
Rock-
I got close to was Jinder Mahal.
yeah, Jinder Mahal was trash.
Like,
though.
but
he couldn't walk.
It could have worked out if they did more JBL stuff with him.
If they would have just put some oil on his kneecaps like they did the Tin Man, he could have walked better, man.
I like the Bollywood blows though. But okay, let's get back to the list. Number two, I think my number 2 spot. Like I said, get back to the Undertaker. My number 2 spot was when the Undertaker returned at Survivor Series. It was right after Randy Orton was the sole survivor. So Randy Orton has already beaten him in his Legend Killer phase. So he was gone for a couple months. And then right after Survivor Series happened, the Music Kids, everyone line down a row, and then they had the casket coming out, and then they brought the casket out, and then it opened up with the Undertaker and Randy Orton just sitting there, and it was just
selling.
I popped out hard because back in the day I was really into wrestling. I believed everything that kayfabe was real to me, so I really believed that Randy Orton killed the Undertaker. I thought he was gone, just like I thought back in the day when Kane buried the Undertaker at WrestleMania 19 or SummerSlam 19, whatever it was, and when he came back because he buried him as the American Badass, he came back as the Dead Man. So
you thought it was really.
Like, I was like, oh, it was so crazy. I'm like, oh, he's coming back, but yeah, that was my number 2 spot, was the Undertaker return at Survivor Series, and man, that whole rivalry with Randy Orton was one of my favorites. Was one of my favorite Randy Orton rivalries.
Hands down.
That rivalry and the one he had with Mick Foley.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that later. We're gonna write that down. Which Foley rivalry you like better, between Edge and Foley or Randy and Foley? So we'll talk about that later, though. Because now it's spoken. So now we have to write it. Now it's gonna happen.
Your number 2 spot.
I didn't even get to talk about number 3.
I thought you said that was Raw spot.
No. That was the third honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Number 3, which the number 3 is kind of like everyone lost their shit to, like, and it's really bad because of what actually turned out to happen between him and his personal being. But when Hulk Hogan first came back, right before he did the Mr. America gimmick where he had the mask on because he got written off by Vince, when he first came back
with the NWO,
I lost my shit because I was like, oh, the NWO, dude, hell yeah. But number two, okay, so when Sting came down from the rafters in the middle of, I want to say it was Nitro, or it was something, but it was NWO in the ring. They were all watching the entryway, and he come right down.
Mm-hmm.
I flipped a tit.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be my hardest pop my entire life. I thought even growing up, I was like, okay, yeah, these have all been great, but there hasn't been this. It hasn't been this. And then I found another one.
Okay.
I'll let you talk about number 1 first, though.
Okay. Well, My number one pop of all time. My number one pop of all time is Eddie Guerrero beating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at No Way Out in 2004. You guys know, if you're a fan of the podcast, you know Eddie Guerrero is my favorite wrestler of all time. And when he won the WWE Championship, No Way Out 2004, I popped the hardest because that whole night was great for me. The storyline between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg was great. How Goldberg came in, he bought his ticket from Stone Cold the week before, and he had a ticket for there. He came in, he got kicked out by Paul Heyman because he was GM at the time, and it was just dope. He came back and he speared Brock Lesnar, and it was so amazing. Eddie Guerrero came in. Brock Lesnar tried to F5 him. He DDT'd him on the championship, hit the frog splash, and he did 1, 2, 3, and he jumped over the rail and won. Okay, this is another big thing for me too. But this is my first live pay-per-view I watched since the 1997 Bash at the Beach.
Oh, ish.
So it was my first. It was a whole 7 years since I watched anything. So I was a toddler. So it was great watching that. I always watched all the shows, but it was my first time watching the pay-per-view live. So it was pretty dope. I snuck and bought it on TV, on Dish TV. I snuck and bought it.
Dish.
Yep. And my
Don't
mom
go to channel 1 on Dish.
Mama wasn't happy, but
Hey.
it was cool though.
At least she didn't find the other things that you ordered, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But it's cool though. I'm pretty sure we didn't even pay that. I paid our bill after that, so it's pretty cool.
So it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
It was free anyway.
So what's your top spot?
My top spot. So, and I'm going to get the biggest of flag because it was kind of a why would that matter so much to you? But it meant a lot to me when Will Ospreay first showed up in AEW for the Forbidden Door.
Oh yeah,
that because I've been watching Will for a couple of years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then I was like, okay, so he's gonna be great over here in NJPW. Yeah. He's gonna kick ass as he should, but he's never gonna come over.
Yeah,
come over to our side of the water. And sure enough, he came in and he has been the greatest fucking his match that he did with Orange Cassidy, where he reached down into Orange Cassidy's pocket and pulled out the middle finger. Yeah. Dude, oh my god, that was great. His rivalry with Kenny Omega, the fact that they're bringing that into AEW,
hopefully
playing that so hard.
Hopefully, man. I hope they play it to it more in AEW because
who was that he was in a match with somebody. They went for a super hurricanrana off the top rope, and dude landed on his fucking feet. Will Ospreay literally
wasn't that Ricochet?
No, this was over in NJPW. I'm talking Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay, like somebody was giving him a hurricanrana. He did a full flip, landed on his feet. I
thought it was Ricochet.
No,
a couple years later, that was after Ricochet left. He's been in WWE for like 5 years now.
Yep. Anyway, that one was a very close number one spot because I've been watching the Hurricanrana land or the AEW debut of Will Ospreay could honestly be interchangeable.
Okay.
AEW's handling of Will Ospreay, not even introduction, but like the handling that they've done of Will Ospreay so far, been phenomenal.
I gotta disagree with that one. I think Will Ospreay being the person that he is and the caliber of wrestler that he is, one, how they brought him in, right, and put him in a tag team, I don't think that was right thing. I think he should have came in right away. He just refused went for like, he should have faced someone in the elite, therefore, like a Hangman or something, but I don't think he was the tier. He was up on a tier. I think he was lower tier card. But the people, the hardcore fans knew him. But I don't think. But like to you, like you like him, but like me, like I know Will Ospreay, but me not being be as familiar as Will Ospreay with all his work. I think they should have did a better job of me getting hooked in.
Yeah,
because all
have
my
him come in as a solo. So
yeah,
that
all my
people-
Will Ospreay like watching came during the pandemic.
Yep, exactly.
All the
Exactly.
me watching Will Ospreay, all me him like him fight his girlfriend and like all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like that was real fucking good job.
It
But,
was great work.
Great work, guys. But hey, you guys let us know your top 5 times you pop the loudest.
Yeah,
Want
go
to
ahead.
hear, man? Make sure you guys comment, send us messages on Facebook or Instagram. Look up Boss Body Entertainment on Instagram. Look us up on Facebook, Boss Body Entertainment or the Boss Body Podcast. Search us up on YouTube, man. Boss Body Entertainment, same thing. Boss Body Podcast as well. Listen to us on Spotify. Once again, that is the Boss Body Entertainment or Boss Body Podcast. Once again, this is Speaking with Marks. I am Trayvon.
I am Stampede, and thank you to each and every one of you performers out there that give us the delicious wrestling.
You fucking know it. Let's go.
Yo, what's good? You already know it's your boy Fly Gaza. You either tuned in or you motherfucking tuned out. You already know, For the Record Radio, Boss Body Entertainment. We here, yo. Tune in.